Are you eating what you think is a perfect keto diet, but your weight won't budge? Or maybe you're feeling foggy, sluggish, and like your fat isn't burning no matter how strictly you follow keto? You're not imagining it, and it's not your fault. Here's what's really going on inside your body: insulin. That tiny hormone is the master regulator of fat storage, energy use, and even longevity. Even small spikes, the ones you don't see coming, can quietly sabotage your ketosis, stall fat loss, and drain your energy. Most people think ketosis is only about cutting carbs, but the truth is, it's about controlling insulin, supporting your liver, and balancing your hormones. Skip that part, and even the cleanest keto foods can work against you. In today's video, I'm going to uncover 7 everyday triggers that secretly spike insulin. And these aren't the obvious sugar-filled snacks you've already cut. I'm talking about the hidden insulin bombs in foods, supplements, routines, and even stress that most keto guides completely miss. By the end, you'll understand why your body isn't burning fat the way it should, and I'll give you actionable tools to fix it. From timing strategies to food swaps, stress hacks, and metabolic reset tips. If you're serious about reclaiming your energy, optimizing your metabolism, and burning fat naturally, stay with me. This is the guide that finally makes keto work the way it should. Before we dive into each trigger, let's get a quick roadmap of what sabotages ketosis without most people realizing it. These are everyday habits and hidden foods that quietly spike insulin, stall fat burning, and keep your metabolism stuck. Hidden carbs in keto-friendly foods. Think processed low-carb snacks, sugar alcohols, and sauces that seem harmless but trigger insulin. Protein overconsumption. Too much protein can convert to glucose through gluconeogenesis, silently raising insulin. Stress and cortisol spikes. Even without food, chronic stress floods your body with hormones that elevate insulin and block fat burning. Artificial sweeteners and flavored drinks. These trick your body metabolically, causing insulin responses despite being zero carb. Meal timing mistakes. Eating too frequently or late at night can keep insulin elevated around the clock. Hidden inflammatory foods, dairy, certain nuts, and refined oils can subtly affect insulin and metabolism. Sleep deprivation and circadian disruption. Poor sleep alters hormone balance, making insulin resistance worse. Each of these points has a physiological explanation, and in the next sections, we'll break them down with real science and actionable strategies to regain control of your metabolism. Before we dive into each trigger, let's get a quick roadmap of what sabotages ketosis without most people realizing it. These are everyday habits and hidden foods that quietly spike insulin, stall fat burning, and keep your metabolism stuck. Hidden carbs in keto-friendly foods. Think processed low-carb snacks, sugar alcohols, and sauces that seem harmless but trigger insulin. Protein overconsumption. Too much protein can convert to glucose through gluconeogenesis, silently raising insulin. Stress and cortisol spikes. Even without food, chronic stress floods your body with hormones that elevate insulin and block fat burning. Artificial sweeteners and flavored drinks. These trick your body metabolically, causing insulin responses despite being zero carb. Meal timing mistakes. Eating too frequently or late at night can keep insulin elevated around the clock. Hidden inflammatory foods, dairy, certain nuts, and refined oils can subtly affect insulin and metabolism. Sleep deprivation and circadian disruption. Poor sleep alters hormone balance, making insulin resistance worse. Each of these points has a physiological explanation, and in the next sections, we'll break them down with real science and actionable strategies to regain control of your metabolism. Next, let's talk about protein, often praised as the safe, lean fuel on keto. But here's the catch. Eating more protein than your body needs can actually raise insulin and stall fat burning. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Excess protein can be converted into glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. Think of your liver as a factory. When you supply it with more raw material than necessary, it produces glucose. which in turn triggers insulin. That insulin spike silently shuts down ketosis, even if you haven't touched a carb. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Imagine trying to fill a glass of water. Keto wants your body to sip slowly, burning fat steadily. Too much protein is like pouring extra water quickly. It overflows into storage, insulin response, instead of keeping the system balanced. What the research shows is that moderate protein, calculated based on lean body mass rather than high protein for everyone, supports muscle preservation without raising insulin excessively. A 2016 study in Nutrition and Metabolism confirmed that overfeeding protein increases circulating insulin and slows ketone production in keto-adapted adults. So, what's the practical approach? Track your protein intake. Aim for roughly 0.6, 1.0 grams per pound of lean body mass, spread evenly across meals. Focus on high-quality sources: eggs, fish, poultry, and plant-based proteins in moderation. Pairing protein with healthy fats can also help stabilize insulin. This is one of those hidden pitfalls that many keto followers overlook. Paying attention to protein portions is a simple adjustment that can dramatically improve fat burning and energy levels. Now, let's uncover a hidden trigger that most keto guides completely overlook: stress. Even if you're eating perfectly, chronic stress can sabotage your ketosis by elevating cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When cortisol is high, your liver starts producing glucose from stored glycogen, insulin rises, and fat burning slows. You might feel tired, crave carbs, or notice stubborn fat around your midsection, even though your diet looks perfect. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a campfire. Keto is designed to burn fat steadily, like a controlled flame. Stress is like a sudden gust of wind. It sparks glucose production and blows out the slow-burning fat flame. What the research shows is that chronic cortisol elevation contributes to insulin resistance and visceral fat accumulation. A 2015 study in endocrinology and metabolism clinics confirmed that even moderate stress episodes can elevate insulin and suppress ketone production, particularly in older adults. Here's what you can do. Incorporate daily stress management practices: deep diaphragmatic breathing, short walks in nature, meditation, or a quick 5 to 10 minute mindfulness routine. Prioritize sleep. 7 to 8 hours of quality rest dramatically reduces cortisol spikes. You can also try timing your workouts strategically. Morning movement can lower cortisol later in the day. If this insight is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this every day to help you optimize metabolism, reduce stress, and keep your body in fat-burning mode. Let's move on to a common sneaky culprit: artificial sweeteners and flavored drinks. Many keto followers reach for diet sodas, flavored waters, or sugar-free protein shakes, thinking they're safe. But here's what's really happening inside your body. Even though these products contain little to no carbs, your body can respond metabolically as if you just ate sugar. Sweet taste receptors in your mouth signal the pancreas, and insulin can rise. Over time, repeated exposure can contribute to insulin resistance, slow ketosis, and even increase sugar cravings. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Imagine your pancreas is a smoke detector. Normally, it only goes off when there's real fire, sugar in your bloodstream. But with artificial sweeteners, it's like constantly setting off the alarm for smoke that isn't there. The repeated false alarms stress your system and interfere with fat burning. What the research shows is that certain non-nutritive sweeteners, including sucralose and aspartame, can increase insulin secretion in sensitive individuals. A study published in Cell Metabolism 2022 found that even low-calorie sweeteners can alter glucose metabolism and blunt ketone production in some people. The solution is simple: prioritize plain water, sparkling water, or herbal teas. If you want sweetness, add a small amount of stevia or monk fruit to foods you make at home, and observe how your body responds. By cutting out these hidden insulin triggers, you give your metabolism a clear signal to stay in fat-burning mode. Small swaps like this can have a surprisingly big effect on your ketone levels. Now let's talk about something most people completely underestimate: meal timing. Even with perfect keto foods, when you eat can dramatically affect insulin and fat burning. Eating too frequently, snacking late at night, or skipping fasting windows can keep insulin elevated and prevent your body from fully entering ketosis. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Insulin naturally rises after every meal. If you're constantly feeding your body or eating close to bedtime, insulin never drops low enough for fat-burning hormones like glucagon to dominate. Essentially, your metabolism stays in storage mode instead of burn mode. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Think of your metabolism like a tide going in and out. Feeding too often is like keeping the tide high all the time. Your fat-burning shore is never exposed. Strategic meal timing creates the low tide, exposing fat for fuel. What the research shows is that intermittent fasting or structured eating windows improve insulin sensitivity and increase ketone production. A 2019 review in Nutrients confirmed that time-restricted eating supports fat metabolism, stabilizes blood sugar, and enhances ketosis in adults. Here's the solution. Aim for a consistent eating window. For many people, 12-16 hours of fasting overnight works well. Avoid late-night snacking and consider spacing meals 4 to 6 hours apart. Pair this with adequate protein and fats to stay satisfied. If this section resonates, take a moment to apply one small change today. Adjusting when you eat can be one of the fastest ways to get your body back into consistent fat-burning mode. Next, let's talk about foods that seem harmless, but can quietly spike insulin and slow ketosis: hidden inflammatory foods. These include certain dairy products, specific nuts, and some refined oils that trigger subtle metabolic reactions even without obvious carbs. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Inflammation stresses your liver and fat cells, making them less responsive to insulin. In response, your pancreas releases more insulin to manage blood sugar, and that insulin blocks fat burning. Over time, these hidden triggers can lead to stubborn weight, brain fog, and energy crashes. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Imagine your fat-burning system is a garden. Chronic inflammation is like pests chewing at the roots. Even if you water and fertilize properly, growth is slowed. Removing the pests allows your garden to flourish. What the research shows is that foods high in certain proteins or omega-6 oils, like conventional dairy, peanuts, or processed vegetable oils, can raise inflammatory markers and insulin in sensitive individuals. A 2020 study in Metabolism highlighted that even low-carb foods with inflammatory potential impair ketone production in some people. The solution is to prioritize anti-inflammatory whole foods, grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, olive oil, avocado, and low-inflammatory nuts like macadamias. Pay attention to your body's reactions. If a food consistently stalls ketones or triggers cravings, consider removing it for a trial period. Making these subtle swaps helps your metabolism work as intended, keeping insulin low and fat burning high without feeling deprived. Finally, let's address a factor that many keto followers completely overlook: sleep and circadian rhythm. Poor sleep, irregular schedules, or late nights can silently sabotage ketosis and fat burning, even if your diet is perfect. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Sleep deprivation increases cortisol and disrupts other metabolic hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Insulin sensitivity drops, glucose metabolism slows, and ketone production declines. Essentially, your body becomes less efficient at burning fat and more likely to store it. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Think of your metabolism like a factory running 24/7. Sleep is the maintenance crew that keeps machinery efficient. Without it, machines overheat, signals get crossed, and production slows. In this case, fat-burning production. What the research shows is that even moderate sleep restriction, 5 to 6 hours per night, reduces ketone levels and impairs glucose control. A 2018 study in obesity found that participants with disrupted sleep had higher insulin and lower fat oxidation compared to those with consistent, sufficient sleep. Here's what you can do. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, keep consistent bed and wake times, dim lights in the evening, and avoid late-night eating. Even small adjustments, like a wind-down routine or limiting screen exposure, can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity and support consistent ketosis. Prioritizing sleep is like giving your metabolism a reset button. It's one of the simplest yet most overlooked tools to stay in fat-burning mode and feel energized throughout the day. Now that we've walked through all 7 hidden insulin triggers, let's take a step back and connect the dots. What's clear is that ketosis isn't just about cutting carbs. It's about understanding how your body responds to food, stress, sleep, and lifestyle factors. Hidden carbs, excess protein, stress, artificial sweeteners, poor meal timing, inflammatory foods, and disrupted sleep all share one common thread. They quietly elevate insulin and block your body's natural fat-burning pathways. The physiology behind it is straightforward. Insulin is the gatekeeper of fat metabolism. Every spike, no matter how subtle, signals your body to store energy rather than release it. By identifying these hidden triggers and applying small, consistent adjustments, you can regain control over your metabolism, boost ketone production, and finally burn fat efficiently without feeling deprived. Here's the practical takeaway. Start by observing your own habits. Track your protein portions, check labels for hidden carbs, manage stress, optimize your sleep, and experiment with meal timing. Remove or reduce foods that trigger inflammation or insulin spikes. Each small change compounds over time, leading to significant improvements in energy, focus, and fat loss. I challenge you to try just one change today. Maybe skipping a late-night snack, swapping a sweetened drink for water, or adjusting your protein portions. Track how your body responds over the next few days. This is about creating awareness and building habits that support metabolism naturally and sustainably. If this video added value, like it and subscribe to join others who are optimizing their health, energy, and longevity the natural way. Remember, your body is capable of remarkable fat burning, energy, and resilience. You just need to remove the hidden roadblocks. Start today and let your metabolism work for you, not against you.